you have to do things like participate in the stock market where the wealth is being created, because that is the only thing that allows you, or one of the few things that allows you to make wealth that exceeds inflation. The other ways are things like owning real estate and stuff like that. So anyway, with these blessing looms, that's kind of what they do. So the blessing looms sort of lean on these cultural references that you're going to get to. They become very relatable for people, and they're like, yeah, I'm participating in something that's going to create generational wealth, when really you're just adding more financial trauma for people that will eventually walk away and say, see, this is why I don't invest, or this is why I don't invest with relatives and whatever. So just keep that in mind as you sort of think about these things, because it's kind of out there. And so here's the deal. So what happens in hip hop, according to the Journal of Consumer Research, is that a lot of marketing of status symbols and luxury this and luxury that creates this hunger, this appetite for get rich quick sorts of schemes. That's why when a guy goes on the Breakfast Club and he's got a big old diamond necklace, and he's talking about how much money he's making in real estate, everybody jumps in it and they love it, because to some extent you have spaces in the Black community where a lot of your economic influencers literally look like dope boys. They literally have a dope boy mentality, and people can relate to that because, oh, well, I saw dope boys in the trap and they always had money. But the problem is that the dope boy was always in the trap. And there's always kind of like a sleight of hand that can kind of happen that can get you into big economic trouble. And the other thing I'll point out on this that I think we should consider one day is that, generally speaking, one of the reasons that hip hop culture does not translate into much wealth for the Black community. For example, if you look at hip hop, we've had 50 years of hip hop. We've had no Black owned hospitals. We've had no Black owned school systems. They don't own any sort of, any billion dollar skyscrapers in Manhattan. There's nothing that really substantially came out of that in terms of real significant wealth for the Black community. I mean, if you're creating this $1 trillion asset called hip hop, and everybody's making all this money, why isn't your community more prosperous? How is the Black community's wealth actually going down when we produce one of the most influential art forms in the history of the earth? Why isn't if I why can't I go to the boogie down Bronx where hip hop was invented and find some billionaires, find like 50 Black billionaires and Black owned institutions that have come out of the fact that the Bronx created this amazing art form? Why do I not see that? Well, a lot of it is because, unfortunately, the way they began to market hip hop culture as being ignorant, sloppy, financially irresponsible, prone to criminal behavior, is incredibly anti-wealth. Everything about what I just said is anti-wealth. Being ignorant is not going to put more money in your pocket. Being ignorant might help you sell more records, but also being ignorant will cause you to never get any money from the records that you sold. Do you follow what I'm saying? Do you get what I'm saying? Um, Being prone to criminal behavior, like say Diddy, means that even if you are lucky enough to achieve millionaire, billionaire status, you're gonna lose all that money from all of the freaking lawsuits that come from your ridiculous, irresponsible, unnecessarily immature behavior. Being a famous rapper should not mean that you up in here doing all kinds of nasty things with women, men, children, and puppies. That what where does all that come? Well, that's the culture. That's the culture. The culture, the culture, the culture. And I can keep going down the list. See, and the thing about it is that the risk is that in America, managing large amounts of money requires a certain degree of conservatism. It's conservative culture that preserves wealth, not crazy culture. For example, I had Mike Roberts come on this platform. Mike Roberts runs billions of dollars in companies.